Welcome back, everyone. Toys here, and I am back yet again to give you guys another fresh look. And today we are totally checking out the entirety of the brand new McFarlane Toys' The Endless Winter. This is their Frost King collect-to-build figure wave. Of course, minus Aquaman. He is a single figure, but all of these characters go with the DC Comics storyline, like Wonder Woman here. This is her in her Endless Winter attire. She's, of course, the first figure that you'll need to build the Frost King. The nice thing about McFarlane Toys when they do the Build-A-Figures is that there's only 4 to get. Yeah, they're about $5 more, of course, but $100 pretty much takes home a pretty much complete set of figures, as you will soon see. And then, yeah, of course, here's the barcodes as well. Batman, this is kind of funny to me. This is what I mean when I say, like, it reminds me of old Kenner stuff. Like, this is Batman in his Arctic gear. Of course, this is straight from the comic book as well. Bruce Wayne would freeze. He doesn't have superpowers, but you know who does? Of course, Jon Stewart. Now, this is the second release for Jon Stewart. Couple different paint apps here and there. Here's the barcode for him as well. And of course, figure number 4 for the collect-to-build wave is Black Adam. We'll talk about him. We'll just say, in conjunction with the comic and everything else. Here's the barcode for Black Adam. And then you have the one single figure that will fit with the Endless Winter is Aquaman. And thank you again to McFarlane Toys. They went ahead, they sent this guy over for the purposes of giving you an early look to him. As you can see on the side of the box, Justice League Endless Winter, yada yada. Same thing. Nice photo of the figure with a shark, right? Here's the barcode as well for him. But as always, this is going to be a blast. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is a look at the brand new, the Frost King collect-to-build wave, the Endless Winter, along with the single Aquaman figure by McFarlane Toys. And while I got all you Frost Kings here, I just want to say thanks so much for checking out my McFarlane Toys video. If you like what you see, maybe do consider subscribing. Old toys, new toys, daily news updates. Guarantee you'll find something here that you like. Now, to kick things off, we'll start it with Jon Stewart. Now, again, as I said, this is the exact same figure. He does have new constructs to him. He comes with a pair of Green Lantern swords, basically. Nice, clear, see-through green plastic, which is nice. Some ornate detail on the handles of the blade. Nice blades overall. Very cool to have something different for Green Lantern. And as I said before, it's same figure, same exact detail, nice head sculpt to him overall. He does have just different gloves. The previous one was black and green. These ones are all green. He has the peg hole in the back. No armor, unfortunately. I wish he would have come with some kind of weapon storage. That would have been kind of cool. But in either case, still no ring blast hand. You know what I mean? Like a fisted hand. Something like that. Same exact articulation overall. So if you don't have Jon Stewart from the prior release, this is a great figure, right? This is very cool, except that he suffers from some long arm syndrome. That's the only thing, a little bit disproportionate, but still very cool. And when you compare him to the previous release, it's just a matter of different armor, different look for the figure in the paint. And here he is stacked up next to Hal Jordan. So again, same base body, different head, different hands, yada yada, but same exact deal. But like I said, if you haven't had the previous release of Jon Stewart, this is a nice looking figure. I really like the constructs to him. So you'll be getting a very cool Green Lantern for your Endless Winter shelf. And then we have Wonder Woman. Once again, I know everyone's going to say, oh, you know, we still don't have a classic Wonder Woman. And yeah, I do agree with you on that sense. We have had a ton of Wonder Womans from McFarlane so far. Yet we have another costume change for her, but in the Endless Winter attire. She does have a sheath with a sword. They're doing that thing again where you can see the sword. I don't like that. It's just, I'm nitpicking, but I just don't care for it. The sword is nice. Not a whole lot of paint. Really could have benefited for some extra paint, just saying, especially on the handle, but it's a sword nonetheless, right? Then you have Wonder Woman. First and foremost, she's got a lot of detail to her. She's really well done. The sculpt is definitely there. Great cape, like a bear skin cape. Very well done. Very cool. She's got like a nice braided ponytail. Nice head sculpt to her. Where the paint is, it's painted nice. She will get hindered a bit in the arm articulation, especially on one side, because the cape kind of slings over. So it doesn't bother me, but I can see that bothering some people. Now, here's the weird thing. I thought, okay, well, how's this going to work with rotation? Apparently, it doesn't look like it's come loose or anything like that. She just has some kind of wonky articulation here where she's attached, let's say, at the breastplate, but then she doesn't really move anything else. It's very odd the way that that's put together because she doesn't ab crunch. She doesn't really spin up top. So it's not the most attractive thing, but it's only there if you try to move her up there. She does have a semblance of a waist, we'll say. She will rotate. They'll kick out about that much. Double jointed knees, toe articulation, feet. Here's where some extra paint really could have benefited this figure because a lot of the sculpt gets lost in just these solid colors. If she would have had a wash, something like that, you could see she's got the sculpted lasso on her. She's got kind of multiple layers, so the articulation does get kind of hindered in the legs. However, she does hold her sword nicely. You can get her a lot of different poses. She's kind of more of a static figure in the sense of she's hindered a lot by all the armor and everything going on around her, but she's painted nicely for what there is. Nice colorings overall. Just wish a little bit more to her. That's it. And then you have Black Adam, which, hey, it's really nice that we're getting some more villains or anti-hero, whatever Black Adam is these days. But he does come with, let's say, electrical effects, right? The whole Shazam, Black Adam kind of thing. Because this is like the Frost King Endless Winter Wave, to me, this is not really electricity. It looks more like ice. And I really do think it gets kind of lost in that. Overall, it's not electrical. It's more ice related. But Black Adam, this figure, when I first saw the promo images, it's grown on me. Not to say that he doesn't have the whole Eddie Munster head portrait going on, but it's a nice head portrait. It's not exactly Black Adam to me, but it works in that sense, if that makes any sense. But nice blue in the hair. Overall, the costume is solid. I like what they did there. The blacks and the golds go really nice together. I love the sculpted detail of the boots. Those are well done. Excellent paint overall, where there is paint. Largely, he's got the whole black bodysuits going on. You can get him into all the different Black Adam / Superman poses, except for the fact that his head doesn't go all the way up. I wish you could look up just a little bit more, but get him into some flying poses. You can definitely make this happen. He does have a lot of nice articulation to him. He's only got one set of hands, so he's got the fist, but I'm glad that he has fisted hands because that works with you for a lot of different things. He's got double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, the wrists work, he's got bicep swivel, he's got some butterfly joints to him. So like I said, overall, nice articulation, and he will twist up top. He does kind of, he's got a lot more, let's say this, a lot more articulation in the abs than a lot of previous McFarlane figures. So good on them. We're getting there, almost. Then you've got some waist. He will kick out. The diaper thing doesn't really bother me. I think it works with this figure, so it works well. Not the most attractive, let's say, in the knees, double jointed knees, but they do work. It's there. Nothing at the boots. He's got some feet, toe, that sort of articulation. So overall, for what it is, yeah, it works for me for Black Adam. And then you have Batman. And again, as I said, this kind of harkens back to all the previous old Batman Kenner figures, right? So you'd have like camouflage Batman. Well, this to me, while it's not like, oh man, you gotta have this figure. Hear me out. It's more of that fun, like, here's Arctic gear, Arctic blast Batman. And I've ragged on that for a number of years. But you know what? It comes full circle, right? So he does come with basically a batarang. I believe this was like a heat batarang, if I'm not mistaken. It's taken directly from the comic book, but I think it's a little bit too big, we'll just say. But the Batman overall, for the paint, for the look, he's got a lot of bat symbols going on. Batman loves to personalize, I'll tell you that. But he's really armored out, and he does look good. He's got a nice Arctic coat to him. He's got the belt that goes all the way around. The sculpt is there. 100%. Looks very cool, very well done. Much like, we'll say, Wonder Woman with all the armor and her capes and everything else, she gets hindered. Batman is no exception either. That's about as much as you can get his arms to go down, unfortunately. I like the head sculpt. The head portrait's nice. He's got the clear red goggles. You can see the white bat eyes underneath. I wish you could take them off, though. That would be kind of cool. In terms of the articulation in the arms with his shoulder pads, they'll work with you. They're more of a malleable plastic. He's got double jointed elbows. The wrists, I'll tell you one thing. This is one of the few times where I'll tell you, you might want to heat this figure up. McFarlane's, you never really have to do much in terms of heating. They're like, not like NECA, of course. But this guy is very stuck, especially in the knees. So I'll tell you this, go very easy on them, because this right now, I feel like it's going to snap, something like that. The feet, same deal, toe articulation, whatnot. Let's try it on this side just to see. Yeah, it moves a little bit better on that side. So he's got double jointed knees. It doesn't go too much because of, again, all the armor, the Arctic armor. But it's a different Batman, but it is a fun Batman, which brings us to the single figure. Now, to reiterate, Aquaman does not come with a piece to build the Frost King. But I'll tell you this, it's a pretty solid looking Aquaman. I'm actually very happy with the way this came out. The colors pop. Very cool. It comes with his trident. It's a solid gold trident. It does have some ornate detail all over it, right? The base, the middle, and at the top. You got the 3 prongs. It's like a fork, right? So that works. Aquaman is pretty solid, right? I like the long hair. The one problem, if any, I'll tell you this, is the eyes. It's got the side eye, but he's got like extreme side eye, right? You got to put the extreme in there. It kind of follows you around the room, right? It's like Haunted Mansion style. So with the exception of that, I'll tell you, I really do like this figure. If anything, I would have loved to have had a swap out hook hand. That would have been gone so well with the more longer haired, bearded Aquaman. Very cool, right? The gold, the orange, the scales, the Aquaman belt, the diaper thing fits with this figure as well. It looks good. He's got lots of articulation, right? The head moves nicely. You can actually get the head to look up, even with all that hair. It's very soft, so it does work with you. Lot of articulation in this guy, lots of in the waist. Has almost an ab crunch. The legs will go all the way out. He can kick up, he can kick back, you know, the whole shebang. He's got double jointed knees. Go really easy on these back fins right here. They are sharp. I'm just going to tell you that. He's got those ball joints in the feet, but they don't hinder you too much. I'll be honest with you. Toe articulation, bicep, double jointed, elbows, everything. It's actually pretty cool. King of the Seven Seas. I'll give him that all day. He holds his trident well. It's overall, I got to give it to him. I think this is definitely my favorite figure out of the Endless Winter. I'll tell you that all day. You can look at his trident all day as well. Of course, you can put him next to McFarlane Toys Peacemaker on your shelf, right? After watching Peacemaker. He's always looking at each other, right? And this is a cool thing. If you have the throne from the blue Lex Luthor, he actually looks pretty solid sitting in that chair, right? But the main oddity of the show, well, I'll tell you this, from, again, seeing the initial photos to just kind of going, I'm not a big fan of the Endless Winter storyline, you have the Frost King, right? He comes with a giant frosty sword, right? It's supposed to be all ice. And I think they do a pretty good job of doing that. It's clear. To be honest, a little bit more paint, maybe something here and there, because we're supposed to believe this is all ice, right? Well, it works and it doesn't, but it is nicely done in terms of the sculpt. The Frost King himself, he's heavy. He's a brick of a figure. So in that sense, yeah, you're getting a lot of plastic for your collect-to-build figure. He's not 100% accurate to what you kind of see in the comics. More so in the size and then the look. It's kind of like they did their own thing while still incorporating some of the design, to be quite honest with you. It doesn't bother me because I'm like, oh no, not the Frost King, right? How could you not get it spot on? He's a very different character. He's not the most interesting, of course, but I mean, he makes for a good action figure. We'll say that. He could have benefited from a lot more paint, just in some instances. I really like this horned bear that is on his belt. That is pretty dang solid. In terms of, let's say, Wonder Woman or Batman, the parts and pieces to his costumes, uniform, work with you. In the boots, some of the paint could have been brought out a little bit more just to make the detail pop. But all the fur nature, I really like the color of his skin. It's a really cool looking blue. The cape, nice and tattered, very much a Spawn Batman cape. Very well done for McFarlane as usual. But yeah, underneath, little tidbits of ice, little frost pieces here and there. The articulation is going to kind of go south in this sense. It's not great, right? He is more of like, he's the Frost King kind of thing. So he look really good just kind of standing there. The head, you get some mobility out of him. The waist, nice twist, right? Kind of sort of some movement in the waist. The arms with the armor, the big chunky shoulder pieces and everything else will hinder the articulation. He doesn't have anything in the bicep. He will kind of sort of swivel at the elbows. It's very stuck, as with the wrists. So again, go easy. Maybe heat this guy up as well. The legs, make sure the legs are popped on. A couple times in kind of articulating them, the leg fell off, but once you you have to hear it go, and it'll go in there and it stays. So there you go. Then you have the knees, double jointed knees. You get them all the way out. Again, kind of hindered. You can take the cape off if you want, but again, you kind of have like this big, giant, massive, endless winter Frost King, right? So he's kind of like a dark side where you don't put him into crazy poses, but I hear you. You want a nice articulated figure. He has it, but he gets kind of clunky here and there. But overall, I mean, he's not a bad looking figure. I'll give it to him all day. Then in terms of the size, he's huge. He's a giant figure as he should be. Of course, he could be the size of like 3 houses and it could still work, but you know what I mean. It fits, but he's not the tallest, right, in that sense for DC Multiverse. The nice thing about the Aquaman, the unfortunate thing about the Flash, is that yes, we are sort of beginning to build the Justice League. So I'd say Aquaman fits in nicely with the Arctic winter Batman, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of have to fudge it in there. The Flash is what throws everything off. He's just entirely too tall, but it works if you put him in the back. If you wanted the Aquaman with, say, more of a relevant Batman or a rebirth Superman, yeah, they all sort of fit together. You got a nice Black Adam as a villain. Yeah, he works with the characters as well. So again, nice to have a new villain for these heroes to fight. Or you could put him up against the Frost King, of course. But again, like I said, yes, we're starting to build out the Justice League in many ways, many different costumes. Let's just say that we could use a more classic Wonder Woman to fit in a little bit better. And it's nice to have a villain for them to go up against. So that really does wrap it up for my look at the brand new Endless Winter Collect-a-Build figure wave by McFarlane Toys and Aquaman, of course. They do look great. So if you have Superman, if you have the Flash, you pretty much have like the main cast ensemble for what the Endless Winter did in the comics. It is, by all means, not my favorite comic book storyline. However, in the sense of a complete wave of figures for a particular storyline, McFarlane Toys did nail it, especially, again, if you've collected Superman or if you have the Flash, they all go together. Sure, there's other characters they could still do, but I think in terms of what you're given, in terms of the costumes, in terms of matching it up as best as they could in the storyline where, I mean, I could honestly care less and be like, oh yeah, it works, fine, whatever. It's pretty solid of a wave. The articulation is going to go either way for some people, but the sculpts are there. The paint is there for the most part, but I think if anything, the articulation might kind of throw you, but you have them all on your shelf. It really does make for a nice display, but I am curious to know what you guys think about this new Endless Winter wave. Is it for you? Will you be grabbing? What do you think about the single Aquaman? Comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything Endless Winter. And again, thank you to McFarlane Toys for sending these over to give you guys this early, fresh look. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, read the storyline. If you haven't already, tell me what you think. I really had this idea when it kind of first started that they were going to kind of go like the Hal Jordan, like Final Night kind of stuff. I don't know. It kind of fell apart, to be honest. But hey, you know what? Interesting figures out of it. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.